Hey guys, Jim from Team 2 Legit to Crit here with a main deck profile for you guys today. So for our starting Vanguard, we use Maiden or Ots, whatever. I'm terrible at pronouncing some of these names. Her ability is a Generation Break 1. You can counterblast 1, put her into the soul, choose one of your units, and call a unit from your deck with the same name as that unit. So that's basically the main mechanic of this deck, is copying. So instead of saying call the same unit from the deck, I'm just going to say copying from this point forward, just so people don't get confused. So then for strides, we are running 2 Flower Princess of Spring Arborea. Her ability is, when her attack hits the Vanguard, you can copy one of your units, call a unit from your deck with the same name as that unit, and then it gets plus 2,000 until the end of the turn. So it's really good. It adds pressure, can help fill out your columns, get you cards you need, and it's a really good card overall in the deck, so that's usually the thing you want to go into first. And then we run 1 Multivitamin Dragon. He's a new stride out of the Fighters collection. His ability is, when one of your units is placed on rearguard, if you have another unit with the same name as that unit, you can give it +5. And you can do this ability twice. So say you put on field and you have 2 copies, you can go both units +5. So it's really good. It adds a lot of pressure if you have a card in your hand with the same name as 2 units. And it can help you really push for numbers. And then we are playing 1 Primavera. I'm thinking about cutting her for another multivitamin or Arborea or maybe a Blizza. Because her skill, I just usually don't get it off enough, and I don't have enough copies of a unit with the same name in my deck left when I go into her to have enough to make her useful even. Her ability, for those of you guys who don't know, is CB3, and you put 5 normal units on the top of your deck, and then you search your deck for you choose 2 units on your field and search your deck for up to 2 copies of units. So say you have 2 9Ks and 2 7Ks, and you've attacked with them, then you attack with Primavera. Basically, you call 2 new columns with her effect, which isn't bad if you can get it off, but a lot of times I don't have enough copies to make her use of her ability to the best of its ability. And then we play 4 boss monster of the deck, which is Jingleflower Dragon. His ability is GB2. You flip up a copy of himself, and you choose one of your units, and each of your units get plus 2,000 for each other copy of that unit you have on the field. So say you have 3 Sour Slicers in your back row, all of your units gets plus 6,000 until end of turn, which is really good. It helps you hit ridiculous huge numbers, and it's a really great card for Neonectar and something they really needed to finish off games. And then for grade 3s, we're running 4 Aisha. Her main ability is, when you stride over top of her, you can counterblast 1 and clone something. And then, often not used, but it can be very helpful to finish games for you. Her second ability is, at Generation Break 2, all of your units get +5 for each copy of them on the field. Well, if you have the same copy as a unit on your field, that unit gets +5. So it's really good. It's kind of like a Sephiroth, but a little bit larger numbers, which is really helpful late game. And then we are running 4 of my Vegetable Avatar Dragon. His ability is, you can counterblast 1 when you ride him, and soul blast 1, copy one of your units, and call another copy of that card to the field. So it's really good. And then his secondary ability, at the beginning of your main phase, you can counterblast 1 and call another Vegetable Avatar Dragon to the field. So it's not bad if you can't stride that turn. You get a free unit out of it, and you get a free unit when you ride him. So he's really not a bad backup grade 3 to Aisha. And then for grade 2s, we are running 4 Grace Knight. Sorry about that. 4 Grace Knight. His ability is, he's a GB1 12k attacker. So it's really good comboed with Arborea and Gladiolus, which I'll show you in a minute, because you can swing for 12 unboosted, then boost your Gladiolus or your attack hits with your Arborea, and you just call another one out, and you have a free new column and an extra attack, which is really good. And then I am playing 3 Gladiolus at the moment. Her ability is really good and really useful. It's GB1. When she's boosted and she attacks a Vanguard, you can counterblast 1, copy something, and call it to the rear guard. So as I was stating earlier, it helps you hit really good numbers with Grace Knight. Say you have an Jingleflower on field and you only have 2 Sour Slicers, but you still have units with Sour Slicer on their name in your deck. You can use her to put a Sour Slicer behind your Vanguard and still hit fantastic numbers, because that boost would still, the extra boost from Jingle Flower would then apply to her, making her an even bigger column, which is really good. And then I'm running 2 of the promo. I would be running more if I could get my hands on them, but I didn't go to Team League, and I was only able to pick up 2 so far. And this is Maiden Flower Screen. Her ability is very helpful and really deadly when you have Jingle Flower on board. Her ability is a Generation Break 1. You can put a unit on the top of your deck, and then she gains the same name as a unit on your field. So say you have Sour Slicer on field, she doesn't gain the power of Sour Slicer, she gains the name. So your Sour Slicers would then have 4, or if you have another of her on field, optimally 5 power boosts from Jingle Flower. So you'll be hitting ridiculous numbers. So she's a really great card. And then to round it out, since I don't have any more flower screens, I'm running 2 Barrage Warrior Watermelon, which is a really good card in its own right. But honestly, I feel like Flower Screen has a little bit more utility in the deck. Its ability is if you have another Watermelon on rearguard, he gets +2. So he's a really good card to fill out space, and just a very useful unit in general. And then I'm playing for 100% orange. You can play the Unflip PG. I didn't feel was necessary. I mean, the deck counterblasts a lot, but if you conserve it for the right plays, you should have no problems. It's just your basic perfect guard, but I mean, if you find yourself having counterblast issues, there's always the Maiden Unflip PG in this set if you want to pick it up. Then I'm running 4 of the MVPs of the deck, Sour Slicer. He is a promo that came out in the last promo pack, and his ability is if you have another unit with the name Sour Slicer on it on your rearguard circle, he gets +1. So optimally, you want to get 3 to 4 of these on board, and then he becomes a 9 to 10k booster, which is hitting very nice numbers behind your 12k attackers. Helps you hit 21, and it also helps your huge Jingle Flower plays. So it's a really great card, and it's one of the few cards in the deck I would not mess with no matter what. I would keep the 4 Sour Slicer in there because he's that integral to the deck. And then we're playing 4 of the Stride Enabler, Padmini. I'm trying to get 2 more signed at the moment, but it still works really well. Some people cut this to 3. I don't know why, because you definitely need Stride in the deck because it will fall apart without it. So it's a must to play 4 of this and 8 grade 3s. So just your basic Stride Enabler, and can search for A-Show when placed on rearguard circle. And then finally, to round out the grade 1s, I'm playing Toucana. For those who don't know, her ability is Gem Break 1, put her in counterblast 1, put her in a soul, choose a unit, and every copy of that unit gets +5 until end of turn. So it's really good to help you finish games, hit huge numbers, and just add utility to the deck that it needs to get those big power boosts and big pushes. And then finally, to round it out, the triggers, we have 4 heal, obviously. Then we are running 5 crit. 4 Daybreak that came from the child deck because her ability is amazing. It's Gem Break 1. When she's placed on a rearguard circle, you can put her on the top of your deck and shuffle. And you choose one of your units, and all copies of that unit with the same name get +5. So she's really amazing and really helps you just hit huge stacks and numbers, as this deck is known for. And then I'm playing 1 Watering Elf. They have another stand with an effect, and that would be this card, which you put in a soul and add 3k to unit. So it can add a lot of utility to your 12k attackers early game and help you hit 21, and just a good card overall to have. And then finally, to round it out, we are running 7 criticals. I like the 7 crit 5 stand mix because the stands are deadly in this deck with Jingle Flower, but the crits still allow you to add that pressure that the deck needs. And honestly, the draw power is not as important as hitting your huge numbers, restanding, adding continual pressure. So that's it for the deck, guys. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.